All right, hold on. You gotta get the chat up. Gonna get chat up. All right. Happy American Daylight Saving, Gavin. I'm so happy that it will get dark at 3 now. And even worse, now all of my salmon run times are odd numbers instead of even numbers, which just really bothers me.
Why so?
I mean, are you an odd number guy?
I don't care either way.
Okay, but if you had to pick one. Compilation in Salmon Run of Gavin saying I don't care, and then me going, okay, but if you had to pick one. Most of them would be Splatfest related. Yep. Oh man, for some reason I am just not able to deal with this sensitivity right now. Yeah, I don't know, I just don't, like, aren't odd numbers just always uglier than even numbers?
No.
Whoops.
That sounds kind of deranged, to be honest.
What? Come on. What do you mean deranged? I think he's an odd number fan.
I don't really understand how, like, numbers can have just numbers as, like, their conceptual forms have, like, ugliness or beauty.
Well, it's like, you know, because even numbers, they're always even. You know, the divisibility thing.
This
like,
water is
I
so
think it's
water.
just. I think it's like, it has to be related to them as a like conceptually, right?
I mean,
like
if
you learn
into,
all
like,
this.
their usage or whatever. Isn't it like odd numbers are actually more common for like symmetry reasons?
I have no idea. But I feel like there's a lot of
arranging like sets of stuff. For instance, is you always want to go odd, so like always like 3, 5, 7, 9 because the oddness, like, creates like a perfect middle point around which symmetry can be, like, hung, I guess.
Well, that doesn't seem right because symmetry requires 2 things, and 2 is an even number. So.
Well, therein lies the irony on it.
I think you're kind of an odd number guy.
I think you're just saying this to put me on an opposing side. As you often do.
Nonsense. Well,
Okay.
This is funny. You guys keep killing them over there. I'm not going to be able to do anything with my enlarged prostate.
Fuck me then.
What happened?
One of them got past, shoved me into the horde.
Hilarious. I feel like a lot of stuff happened in the past 2 days.
I'll take the floor.
I don't really. This is always the weird thing, right? Where I'm like, I have a physical list of topics here. Isn't that weird? That seems unnatural. But so it always feels weird.
This is essentially
when I bring
a fucking discussion podcast, so just fucking go for it.
Yeah, but you're not. I feel like you're not supposed to reveal that. You're supposed to have, natural segues and whatnot. I'm just very
It
bad
depends
at
on
it.
your podcast. One I listen to just overtly have a list and even reference like, hey, you wrote this in the list, so we like have at it. And stuff like that.
Well, there's one interesting thing. Were you aware that
Yes.
Sonic Frontiers Switch leaked?
I've heard just like words to that effect, yes.
I think it's funny that only the Switch version leaked, and not another one.
It's almost like there's like fucking no security or like any capability of preventing leaks on this godforsaken infrastructure.
Like the Switch is just really easy to crack, I guess.
Yep.
But it's like I have a friend who oh Jesus, I have a friend who always just plays games that leaked before they come out, like they did with Bayonetta 3 and stuff. So they were playing Sonic Frontiers, and I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but of course, because I don't really care to play it, I was very curious and wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
And I found it.
Snake. That's a different snake.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, like, it seemed there are different factors here.
Yeah, we get it. You hate it because it's not Mario.
It seemed like it seemed kind of boring, but the thing is, I don't know if that's because my friend was just like not good at it. He kept kind of running around in circles and
okay, that
like,
sounds like he's pretty bad.
going on things like backwards, like their rails. Oh.
Okay, so they were just being a fucker, and they're going like, well, obviously the game is crap.
Like they, well, they weren't saying that, but like, it's like it seems like at least the first island seems just like there are no good puzzles or things to climb or do, and I don't know if that's like because they want to babyfy it, because it's like the first island, they kind of want to make it a tutorial deal maybe, but Just hit both of them. Sorry. Kind of a dire moment there. Bitch. But I think it might, the first island might just be really fucking boring because of that. Because like I saw things like the director of the game tweeting like, "Oh, I'm so nervous like about the reception of this game because I really want this to be the new direction for Sonic."
Yeah.
And like, you know, things like the action form being for babies and stuff too. Makes me think.
I mean, the thing there is, like, at least for the first level, it has to be, because if it wasn't, people would start screaming that it's literally unplayable because it expects them to react to things, like they did with Unleashed. That's always my biggest bugbear with a lot of criticisms, like Unleashed and the boost games. People going like, how am I meant to, like, do any of this? And it's kind of like, well, you know, you see it, and then you do it, like anyone else, and you would in any other game.
Oh, Jesus.
If you can't take it like at max speed with the boost or whatever, you just don't fucking hit the boost button. So, yeah.
Yeah, but this is like the...
Damned if they do, damned if they don't, it feels like.
It's like the main fear personified, but I think it's just the first island. He got to the second island, and then I don't know, I think I left to get food or whatever, and then he stopped. Oh, I left for dogs, and then he wasn't streaming anymore, and I'm like, why aren't you streaming anymore? He's like, oh, because I found out.
Watching?
I found what?
Was anyone watching?
Yeah, it was in a friend group chat. I can't reach them. There we go. But I was like, what happened? Like, why aren't you playing anymore? I'm excited to watch more of this. And he's like, yeah, so on the Switch cart, it only has the first 2 islands, and...
Wait, on the cart, sorry? But if
what?
you have this as a leak, why would you have the cart?
Well, it's the same thing, right? Like
no, the digital download would be everything, surely.
The leak comes from the cartridge. I think it's ripped from the cartridge.
Okay, it's not like a server leak; it's a cartridge rip. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. So it's like the first 2 islands are there, but every island after that is just cutscenes and the boss fights for the island.
Okay.
Nothing else. So he's like, well, I don't want to play in case like things from the first 2 islands are missing. I want to 100%, like try to 100% them and then find out that it was all for nothing. So yeah, it's like
at this point I would point out that Switch cartridges, like I think at a max cap out at 32 gigabytes or something, and that's if you're paying for the high capacity one, which they may not be.
I mean, I'm wondering if it's like a day 1 patch thing, like he's suggesting, so that like if it gets leaked, then the whole game isn't spoiled. I mean, obviously
maybe, but I think the more obvious answer is like they just didn't want to pay Nintendo's higher prices for like higher capacity Switch cart manufacturing.
Well, no, but the rest of the game has to be there.
Not really, no. That's the joy of putting it into a patch for the Switch.
So you're saying, okay, no, see, that's what I'm saying. So they're gonna release a day 1 patch or something, is the idea.
Yes, is the idea, yeah. And I don't think that's because, oh, we don't want this leaked. I think that's because they did not want to pay Nintendo's higher capacity manufacturing prices.
Okay, I see. That must be a pretty huge patch then.
Probably. Well, I guess it depends, because to be fair, it depends how much of it is unique assets, really.
I mean, because, yeah, I was wondering, what the fuck?
He's alive.
It's me, I'm dead, for sure.
No.
If only that came up, not 1 microsecond after, after I took my shot, so I had no ink for grenades. But, yeah, I was wondering if they were, like, just so the reviewers would know the story and stuff, at least, so then they can write their things and get the gist of the gameplay. And then
No,
if
the
it
reviewer
leaks,
will have,
then,
like, the full version.
I mean, yeah, I have no idea where this leak came from, but it's very curious that the rest of the game isn't there except for story important moments, presumably.
Again, I think that's primarily a Switch thing. Because reviewers haven't even, like, in passing suggested this, and there has been some talking about it. There's actually, like, one I saw, like, someone on the timelines of people I follow, because they retweeted it, I presume, fuck is it, had two interesting points about content in the game. What are one of them is kind of a spoiler, I guess, but it doesn't actually tell you what any of the thing involved in. It's about the final boss. And I guess you don't give a shit, and I find it interesting.
Skip to
Like, like
13 minutes
skip
and
ahead, like
13 minutes and 46 seconds.
So it's basically like the final boss has an extra phase on hard mode that isn't on normal and easy.
Okay, that's not a spoiler. I thought you were gonna say it's like
some people might find that like so I just
that's actually good. That's good to know because you don't want to play on easy and then fucking
the other one is once you beat the game, all the cyberspace levels can play from the main menu.
That makes sense.
And I'm like, that's pretty sick. They seem to get it.
Not like the cyberspace levels are much anyway.
I mean, they're literally the game levels, so I don't know what you're talking about.
They're very short and uninteresting. Granted, granted, unlike the first island, it seemed like it was only fucking 2D levels for some reason. I guess 3D is just too advanced for people.
Also, did they find everything? That's the other thing.
Well, no, not everything.
Like
it was like
might have been speeding through it.
It was 58. He wasn't speeding through it. That's what I wanted him to do. But
okay,
that was a relatively natural thing. It's plausible, but like, it was interesting that all of them were 2D.
Yeah, no, I maintain I'll see because no harm you, but you have been like champing at the bit to be down on Sonic Frontiers. So
what? That's not true.
That's completely.
I
true.
said I think it'll be good.
And then at every other time when you talked about it, you go like, "Man, this will be garbage."
I said I'm worried it will be boring and they won't do it properly. But it's because of the format, it's likely that they'll do it properly anyway.
You didn't say any of that before now.
Yes, that's literally I think 2 salmon runs ago. I said that exact shit. Maybe even 1 salmon run ago. I'm losing track of time. I feel like we missed one, but it's hard to say.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been paying attention.
One thing I really don't like about the game is, for some reason, all the voices are weird. It seems like all the
It changes the voice, like some of the voice actors are changed, and they change the voice direction for some of the returning.
Yeah, like Sonic sounds like, you haven't watched Steven Universe Future, but I'm sure you can imagine how like teenager Steven sounds compared to kid Steven. That's what Sonic sounds like. Yeah. That's what Sonic sounds like. He's going through puberty or whatever. It's weird.
His voice actor was explicitly told to voice him like he's older.
Yeah, and like Amy sounds like a white woman now.
She already did in Lost World.
Well, she wasn't in Lost World, so
she was in Lost World.
Her and Knuckles weren't in Lost World.
They were in Lost World. You don't get the cope about that. You didn't
That's what
play
they. That's what they. That's what they wanted you to think, but they didn't. They didn't put it. They didn't put in the actual effort to make it worthwhile.
Also, Frontiers actually. Oh, not Frontiers. Sorry, Forces.
That was an accident.
I will say that they should have kept the Ranger's name or whatever instead of going for another word that starts with FRO.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the voice direction, and we already know that I don't like Knuckles, who's just like completely different, I think, anyway. But it's awkward.
Actor,
yeah, I don't know if it'll be a thing that like just gets better the more you get used to it or what, but it's very strange. And you could tell it's written by the comics guy because they referenced Amy reading tarot cards once.
Well, that's funny. She really is a white one.
Well, that's like, yeah, that's her thing in the comics. The cartoons had that recently too. Oops.
That's a snake. So that's fun though. Like they have character traits again instead of just existing to say Sonic's name and then everyone's dying.
Yeah, Amy's like, I think Amy's this maybe interesting in between. I don't actually know because I haven't read the comics or whatever. But I think she still retains some of her things about like, you know, caring about the power of love and stuff. But she's not a one-note character about loving Sonic at all, which is nice. She just seems like she treats Sonic like a friend or something, which is that's what she needed this whole time.
Someone somewhere is gonna cry about that, I guarantee it.
Actually, I liked how Amy was characterized in Sonic Adventure on.
I like how she hungered only for Sonic and literally nothing else in her fucking life.
Gotta get that squeaky stealer. Oh wait, no we don't. Never mind.
Fair, I suppose it was a kind of a partial regression because like she wasn't that bad about it in Sonic Adventure because she had her own storyline about the bird and that shit.
But she still had those moments that were annoying.
I mean, having moments is alright. Making it the sole character is the issue.
Also, her redesign is ass.
She has a redesign?
No, just from Sonic CD.
Oh, okay.
I hate it. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but the way they handled...
because otherwise I would just not talk about like future games.
Yeah, no, the way they handled the boss fights, I was skeptical at first. It's so cool. They should do this more often. It's so cool. Like I was so skeptical about like how it worked, but then I'm assuming that's how like it's gonna have the same idea for most of the bosses, and it's so good. And then just the boss battles themselves have cool
music.
Like, well, the music's okay. It's not my cup of tea, but you know, it's like they're cool. Like, even if it like the first boss at least had like kind of redundant attacks, it's like, you know, if you just take the concept, it's cool. It's so cool. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, maybe during the second disgusting desert island level, it'll pick up, but it's hard to say because they didn't put the rest of the game in.
It's also hard to say because it sounds like someone who didn't care that much was playing and you watched it.
I was like, I feel like I would handle it a lot more methodically and probably enjoy it more because I'd be kind of going through like a checklist instead of just, hey, let's see what's over here. Oh, I accidentally went in a circle. And then repeat that 500 times. It does seem kind of like it's a bit hard to tell where things are.
I hope your friend who did this doesn't watch this, by the way, otherwise we're both the shit.
No, it's fine. You can take it.
Okay.
Greg over here.
And there's a snake getting me behind you. Be advised. Oh, it died. Alright.
Yeah, I think and I don't want to spoil any story elements in the levels too, but I think it has cool ideas.
Okay.
I still don't know about the gameplay, but I think like they're having cool ideas. I would not mind if this was kind of like the rough draft for like just Sonic being kind of open world and stuff, which just seems to be what they're doing. Kind of like with Pokemon, except that wasn't a rough draft because they went right back to the old formula. So, but hey, at least you can auto battle in the new Pokemon, right?
I don't think we can really say the new one is the old formula at all, though, because they did 3 different story paths and everything.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking more like Pokemon being out in the wild and then you just catch them and sneak around and stuff. Also, Gavin, watch out. You can't throw grenades will go through mud mouths the moment they come out, so don't throw it too early.
Yeah. Well, it's in the fucking shit again, where like I touch an egg visibly on my screen, it nets up, and then I just go away to throw it, and it's just not on my back. Why did they even pretend to lie in their fucking patch notes?
So speaking of new Pokemon, oh right, we can't throw it on the gusher.
Only in a certain angle.
Yeah, speaking of new Pokemon, they revealed a new Pokemon that they've been teasing today.
Oh, they've been teasing it?
Yeah, in Pokemon Go, well, I think the chest came first. There was a website with a chest on it that said, keep checking back. And then like every few hours, the chest would open up a little more. And then I think there was a week in Pokemon Go where there's like, hey, there's this new Pokemon. Are you guys somewhere else?
We were getting stuff out of a gold one on the beach.
Okay. Then I think Pokemon Go had a week that basically just had the new Pokemon. And then yesterday during Community Day, they're like, there are gold Pokestops around. And if you spin them, you get a coin. And when you get the coin, then the new Pokemon will kind of follow you around. And I think you can collect up to 999 of them. Which I guess data miners found out. And then this morning they revealed it.
The treasure chest or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's the... Did you not see it?
I did see it briefly, but I didn't look at it in detail. Because I'm just of the impression, like, no, I will figure it out when I see it in game.
Why can you not look straight up?
Imagine a world where we could.
Sorry, I'm like focusing now.
Yeah.
I'm the sniper.
By
I need
all
help.
means.
I require assistance back here. Oh, Jesus. That sucks that you have to be at full charge to store the charge. Oh, he's still here.
Yeah, the killer whale brought it to like 3/4.
Yeah, it was like it showed up in Pokemon Go, or like people saw the leak, and then of course Turbo Nerds noticed it behind a bunch of text in one of the trailers too. Hey Biggs, fortunately, my posture is perfectly fine right now. What is that?
Hmm?
Sounds like something fizzing.
Yes, I opened the can.
He loves cans. Can you crush cans with your bare hands?
I mean, yeah, you just squeeze it.
Well, that's not efficient. We used to have a can crusher to like just completely flatten it for the recycling, and then he just never used it. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, I guess like, you could squeeze it and then like, take the top and bottom and crush it together, but it's liable to like snap and like create sharp edges. I just, like flattened it and that just to make more space, and that usually does it.
Yeah, the Pokemon's name is Gimmighoul, which immediately I'm like, that's a Yokai Watch name.
Kinda is, yeah.
And yeah, it's like the idea is it carries around coin, like it goes out scavenging for coins
Yeah.
to put in its chest, I guess. And once I heard that, I'm like, hey, this kind of sounds like a yokai that would explain where your missing coins are.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You can see that very easily.
I'm just like, it's very interesting. I ran out of ink at the worst time. That's a guy there. Alright, the noiselings are kind of causing a conundrum here.
I can't do anything but except the sniper scope. Sniper, whatever.
Thank God you can't get the scopes in Salmon.
You'll be down and you're unplayable.
You gotta get Gavin up, he has the egg, go!
We needed one more.
I thought that the guy coming back had an egg.
Yeah, but he didn't make it.
Sheesh. Yeah, so I was wondering if Gimmighoul was a name for something. Like a pun or whatever, because that's what Yokai Watch does. This seems like it's a ghost that wants coins, so it's saying gimme, which is a very uninspired name. Whereas with Yokai Watch names, they sound uninspired, and then they actually have some stupid, clever twist in them. But when I searched it, I just found that Gimmighoul was like a secret society headquarters at Hippoy Castle in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Very strange. Maybe it's related. You never know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for its design. They seem to be making a lot of little guys. And then, you know, of course the internet is like, ooh, little guys! I love little guys. Look, they're so little.
Yeah, because that's how Gen 1 was, and if you do anything other than that, people start screeching and crying that Pokemon is dead, and it's like for gay furries or something.
It like also just looks like a nerd. Remember Blip Bug or whatever the fuck? That disgusting nerd-looking Pokemon from, what the fuck was that from? It evolves into Orbeal, so it's from Sword and Shield, right?
I don't know what one you're talking about.
It's like, it's a yellow Pokemon that looks like it has giant nerd glasses. Then it becomes like a Dottler, which is like the... Don't come up here, I swear to God. It becomes Dottler, which is like a very polygonal looking bug guy, and then Orbeetle is like the UFO ladybug.
Oh, right, that line. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very forgettable because they are all ugly and no one likes them and they're bad. Stats wise. But you know,
it's true, like literally everything but legendaries these days.
Yeah, I don't know, this thing just, it has like the nerd glasses and stuff, and it's a little guy, and I'm like, eh. It's pure ghost, despite collecting coins. and always being seen either in a giant treasure chest of coins or holding a coin. But you could say the coin isn't a part of it, but I mean, they've done that kind of shit before. I just find it very strange. It's not like the idea is to deceive you this time. Oh. Also, I missed? What the fuck?
I don't know, because the treasure chests aren't necessarily made out of metal.
Well, no, but it's filled with a shit ton of coins.
But the chest would probably be made out of wood.
Well, it's not grass type either.
That's kind of my point. Why would it be one over the other?
Because its whole thing is coins, and when it's in its wandering form, it's carrying a coin that's the size of its body. And it looks like it ain't letting that shit go. Also, has there been a ghost steel type? I don't actually know. I wanted to look it up, and then I got distracted.
Probably. Actually, yes, the swords, home edge and all.
Oh yeah! How's their typing work out? the meta.
Pretty good. Their
Yeah,
line
really
is
good.
extremely meta. Or at least I like when I followed Pokemon meta, and at the time it was extremely meta.
Wasn't that just because the dual modes were so versatile?
No, because
that it
like
was hard to
ghost
beat?
fighting is a combo that lets you hit every other type in the game.
Wait,
Like, the traditional, I want to make sure I can cover every single thing coverage-wise is like Shadow Ball plus Focus Blast.
okay, it had a fighting move, but it's not fighting.
Yes.
Just, I'm like, wait.
Oh, right, no, yeah. I got mixed up. Well, defensively, that's still pretty good. 'Cause, you know, like Steel, just like this walks through the Dark type.
Okay. Did the grenade at least get in? I think the shot got out. Actually, that guy was going backwards, but whatever. We got it. Ugh. Also, this is a nitpick, but I don't like how the chest doesn't open like a traditional chest. It's like the top comes off and then is connected by a strip in the back. Oh, that's just not right. As a Mimic fan, that just doesn't sit right with me. Also, it doesn't even seem like its thing is being a Mimic, which I guess is good, because then it's not just straight up based on something, like they usually are nowadays, but... Fuck! Okay, it sucked it off the ground. Good. Yeah, something I found surprising too was that other than the reveal footage, they had a little video about how the professor from Scarlet and Violet and the professor from Pokemon Go were kind of talking about it, which I find interesting. That they're like, you know, I feel like they're kind of trying to bring Pokemon Go more into the mainstream, which you kind of saw, or you would kind of see with Pokemon Go being included with their like unified event themes and stuff. Like for Pokemon Unite, they were releasing Buzzwole around the same time they were putting Buzzwole as a raid boss in Pokemon Go and stuff. Like it's a neat little endeavor where they're kind of unifying all their games, even if one of them is a shitty MOBA. But they were talking about how the wandering form like runs away in Scarlet and Violet, so you can only ever get it in its chest form. But in Pokemon Go, because you know the wandering form would end up following you, it doesn't run away in Pokemon Go, which makes me wonder if there are going to be like differences between the two versions, which kind of leans into the regional variant thing that they've been doing too, which is cool. I like that. What's the highest DPS weapon here? I guess the enlarged prostate gun, which I don't have.
Yep, I have the Brella.
Well, that's unfortunate. Whoa, 2 Maws. Okay, that was like hopeless. I don't even know why I bothered.
One Maul's ate all 3 bombs. Excellent. Why?
Oh, good. Noiselings. Literally just what I needed. Will you go up and kill them? And then I will just sit up here and kill bosses. Get your fat ass head out of the way. Greg's kinda gotta go though. That's true.
Using the eggs that kill bosses does not feel worth it in the slightest. Jesus Christ. It shouldn't take 2 eggs to kill a rogue.
Well, the idea is you're killing them faster, so you're spending less time worrying about killing them and stuff. And then you just use the other 2 eggs to deal the damage to the guy so that you don't get overrun and all that shit. It would be a lot more satisfying if it one-hit every boss, though. That is very true.
Being able to do all the kills of every weapon except one.
It's like me giving up at 99% in Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Did you?
Yep. I think it was like the Star Chariot level, but the friend version of it. The apartment friend version of it. I don't remember what it was specifically.
I didn't play that game, so I have no frame of reference.
Yeah, everyone's least favorite level where there's no checkpoints and shit. And then it was designed specifically for the bow, I found out from watching my friends play the game. Like not pathetically, but shamelessly so. Meanwhile, I did it with the Splatling. It's funny because I think they gave you more like points for using the bow too, which I'm like, they're just kind of like, please use our new weapon, please think it's cool. So you know what? I'm getting my ink back. It's not there. That guy got in the way. It's okay, we're good. Although speaking of that, I did manage to watch those friends play the Secret Kettle, which I hadn't seen before because I didn't 100% the game. And I still stand by preferring that decision. But I honestly, based on what I heard from people, I thought it was going to be harder. It looked pretty not that bad at all. I didn't think there'd be checkpoints.
Most of it's better, like most of it's fine except for the bow bit, which can just fucking suck.
The bow bit?
The entire sequence, like middle sequence of it, where you're on bow reels. You're on reels and you have to shoot everything with a bow.
But you only have the hero gear the whole time.
I'm pretty sure that. Oh, maybe it's the hero gear you do it. I don't remember. There's an entire. I do remember a part of it.
There is a rail section, which is funny because both of them had like no problems.
Maybe it's with the gun. I don't remember.
Both of them had no problems with it. Which,
that's funny. That's the only part I had problems with.
Because I heard people being like, I don't know if it was like people actually having problems with it or people having problems with its concept because it's another rail target level. And
I mean, I had problems with the concept of it being a real one because sometimes like the real jumps are just don't work. You'll just try and jump to the side and you'll just fall. You'll just come up short and fall, or you'll overshoot and fall, and you've no say in that because the momentum is entirely not your choice. And it's just like, rip, thanks. You didn't just make this like you didn't just make the jumps like a scripted shit where you're like you hit the button and it just basically perfectly auto flips you. Why would you not do that? had to fucking restart that part of the level like twice because of that sort of shit.
Yeah, it had some cool ideas. I was just kind of underwhelmed. I wanted to see, like, hardship and pain.
I mean, that's why I would say like the Octo expansion boss fight's better.
Yeah, I think that's a little too far in the other direction. At least this one seemed like it was kind of fun.
The boss fight was fun.
And then it had the kind of boss fight section too, which of like, hey, I think that this took inspiration from something, like the most popular Octo expansion level, perhaps. I said it as a joke, and then as it kept going on, I'm like, wait, actually, hold on. This was an awful idea. At least get the A, goddamn. But there's like one segment where you're on a moving wall, and like at the end of it, you kind of have to jump off, otherwise it goes too far.
Yeah.
So my one friend managed to, because they were playing at the same time, my one friend managed to jump off at just the right time. Or no, my one friend jumped off too late, and then just died because, like in Splatoon, I guess, you move, after a jump, you move a certain distance and then just stop moving horizontally completely.
Yeah.
So he just fell to his damn death, because jumping in this game is, like, not satisfying, I guess. But, so then the other friend who was behind, fell for it. We were, literally, the first friend paused and waited, and I was looking at him with bated breath to, like, laugh at him for falling for it. He waited, and then the thing stopped, and then Marie said, "Oh, you went too far, but maybe you could get back there with a backward squid roll." So the first friend was balding so hard about like how you have to make this jump with bad jump physics, and then it's like the other friend just got handed the solution on a silver platter, which is just very funny. Nice. And a Greg. Oh, here I am again. Yeah, it's neat. I still don't agree with the fact that, like, all of the all the interesting and important wars locked behind that. But it's at least it's a good reward. I'll give it that. You didn't just look it up. Oh yeah, also when they were playing the final boss, I noticed that during the credits, there wasn't a moon. I don't know if I missed it, but
I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know.
There's not a moon around Earth anymore? What happened to that? What's that
Maybe
about?
it'll come up.
I hope it's
Maybe
related.
there isn't, it just wasn't either depicted or whatever.
I hope it's related to the Salmon run tides being weird, because they don't know how they work. We were talking about, because they liked that you had to do the secret level to get, like, the secret lore or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it kind of became a discussion about like secrets in games. And they were like, one of my friends was like, I want to make a game where there's a secret where only one person will know about it. I was like, well, that's a cool
Yeah.
idea, but the unfortunate thing about the state of the world we're in is that that's impossible.
Yeah, because the second they get it, they'll just tell whoever, like their friends or whatever, and be like, you seen this shit?
Yeah.
Also, you can't really prevent exactly people like on discovering this, just like ripping your game open and having a nosy.
Yeah.
Like, even conceptually, that was tried. Peter Molyneux's Curiosity, What's Inside the Cube, over 10 years ago.
What?
It was a Peter Molyneux's like first project after he left Microsoft, so he wasn't lying about Microsoft projects anymore and just overselling them. He made a mobile game about like there's a giant cube and players will all just like do stuff to tap the cube and remove cube layers, and it's set up so that like the last person who triggers like, the final cube and like opens the secret in the middle will get to see something no one else will get to see. Someone did this and naturally he fucking told everyone what it was.
Yeah.
It was a video from Peter Molyneux saying, "You have got to the middle of the cube. My next project is a real-time strategy game called Goddess, in the vein of like the old Populous one I made about MID ages ago. And because you find the secret of the cube, you are entitled
Wait,
to
yes, I remember
register."
this. You get like some stocks in it or whatever, right?
Yeah, and then that never happened because Peter Molyneux is a lying grifter, and the game didn't sell well, and all but fell apart. Surprise, surprise. So I get the impression that any attempt to make a game of a secret that only one person will find will be maybe not as scammy as that, but will be along the same lines. Someone will achieve it and then just immediately tell everyone else.
Yeah, and then it's like, I was just like, just make an ARG like everyone else.
Yeah.
Or a Near Automata leak. Yeah, that was like, I don't know how true this is, but it's like, oh no, what I actually meant was just a game with a bunch of secrets in it. That, like, are difficult to find and stuff.
Pardon me.
Actually, it might be canon.
What game was it where people would still find like tons of like secret events and shit ages later? I forget. But people like there was some game recently. Actually, there's been a few games. Like even like Final Fantasy IX, for instance, there was like a side quest cutscenes in it that was not discovered until like a good 10 years after, because the triggers for it are so obscure no one had any notion it existed.
Yeah, it was like, wasn't there that one like Sonic game where you did something on the home screen and there was a secret too or something? Maybe it wasn't a Sonic game, but
There's a few like that. You can like input codes in like Sonic 1 that would be like a secret credits screen and stuff like that. Other Sonic games have like level selects and sound tests built into them.
There's of course the DK coin, the DK64 coin as well. And it's like you do kind of have to wonder how that shit took so long to find out when people can just open games now. But I guess you would do some.
Part of the thing is like you need to know to have like someone like to try and look and find it. I guess so you know you've not even a notion that there might be something secret there. You just won't even look for it and then find it.
10 eggs were saved. Yeah, the wave breaker with the Greg thing is like not helping. Wow, look at all these eggs. This isn't efficient, but it's safe. Yeah, and then obviously Undertale came up.
That's another one, yeah, because there's like a hidden value that just changes at random on playthrough generation or whatever. You know, just affect like what messages you can see from certain characters, or if like weird ghost characters appear in certain rooms.
Yeah, like all the Gaster stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then like things like Sans and Toriel being together, like just little nods like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, Undertale is kind of lucky that it was still a fun, quirky game at base, because if it was all secrets that I wouldn't have been able to find out because I didn't really like care to look for them or even look at the wiki, then I feel like it'd be in big trouble. It's like I feel like that's part of the reason why everyone thinks Undertale is like the best game ever made, because of that
I think
stuff.
a lot of it is just genuinely the character and writing for most people.
But I think that like for a lot of people, all the cool secrets and stuff elevate beyond. Cause like, you know, it was no secret that I was like, yeah, Undertale's pretty good, but like I don't know what the whole fuss is about. And then I did some.
The fuss is like teenagers on Tumblr. Kind of like that's where it starts and ends, really.
I did some wiki reading and I'm like, wait, yeah, this game is actually pretty cool. But I did that like years later, aka like a week ago, you know?
Yeah.
Like just because I'm like, what was this? Like, cause I was listening to the music and I'm like, versus a true hero. And I'm like, that's a pretty metal name. Where's this play? And then, you know, went down the rabbit hole of like, this is only a fight that you do on Genocide Run, which I never did. And then,
yeah,
you know,
I do appreciate that one because it has like a separate opening track called "But the Earth Refused to Die," and I'm like, that's the most metal fucking shit I've heard. Partially because it's also a Chrono Trigger reference.
Hey Sheila, we're talking about Undertale. And how secrets in games can be good and bad, I guess.
I don't know, because like I don't think like not knowing any of the secret stuff in that would have made it bad. It's a perfectly like acceptable, good, like pretty good experience without it.
Yeah, no, that's like 1998, good year. That's why I'm like saying it's lucky that like the game itself was good, and then but like when now that I'm looking at Undertale from that perspective, it's like 30% of it is that game, and then 70% of it is cool secrets.
I don't think I'd agree. Cause like I have seen like a lot of the secret stuff on like on wikis and shit. I'm kind of like, that's cool, but this is nowhere near the majority of the game. Oh, saying that, I don't count things like, you know, the Genocide Run having like special boss fight stuff as a secret. That's just the game. You know what I mean?
Kinda, I guess. I kinda do because like, you know, what are the odds that one, you're gonna do a Genocide Run in the first place? I tried to do a Genocide Run and fucking did it wrong.
Yeah, but it being like fussy to do, I think doesn't make it secret. It just makes it, you know, awkward to do.
And like, you know, it's not like you're clued in to. Maybe you are, and I just didn't.
You are, if you do the true pacifist ending, like you get like at the end of every ending, you're hinted at the other routes you can do. Like, what if you killed everyone? Like, you're told at the end of like the true ending, you know, when you've done like the full pacifist like loop. You're told like, hey, you know, like just don't come back, like don't do anything, don't take this happiness from them, don't hurt them, and you know, there you go. Like that's the hint of what if you did kill everyone.
I'm fucking stupid, and that's cryptic as shit, and I'm not gonna know to do that. I don't know. Everyone's probably smarter than me, maybe, but we can't rule out the fact that people are like me. Oh, that's a lot of eggs.
I suppose, but then this is where we get into the thing of like, even then, I don't think that's fair to say that's like a thing of the game. That's a thing of you, the person. You know what I mean? Ow. If it has the hint, in there, then I think it's like, you know, provided the hint is like something any reasonable person can be expected to understand. And I think, you know, the thing essentially going like, "Hey, don't hurt everyone," is a reasonable enough hint. Then I don't think it counts as a secret. Because that kind of dips into the thing of like people who said Nier Automata is only 8 hours long. And, you know, even though the game has a big screen saying you're not done yet, they go like, "Well, I don't want to play."
Yeah, see, but that's a message that is like very straightforward, you know.
Yeah, but I suppose that's kind of to my point. Like, if a message can be that straightforward and some people will still just be like, oh, well, I didn't get it, then, having any message, like any reasonable person can be expected to infer a bit. Reasonable being the key word here, like we're in a fucking, like, court of law. Uh, I think that's fine, you know?
Well, Sheila agrees with me. And I figured Sheila would be someone who didn't agree with me. So I think that means something. Yeah, also I have to go back and, like, now that I've read what actually happens with, like, you know, the past, that Kara isn't just the genocide protagonist, but an actual character in the game, and that all happened
Yeah.
in the past. Maybe I'll go back to the Azrael section and not hate it, because it's confusing and just comes out of nowhere. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. That was
I
convenient.
think that was partially you, like, missing a link somewhere, because I'm pretty sure you have to do, like, the underside of the lab and everything, where, like, you have to, like, see shit where, like, they kind of, like, some logs or whatever suggest that, yeah, like, the king and queen had a child who has, died, and that child knew a human and all that, and all the rest of it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't actually remember. All I
It's been
remember
so
is
long
not
ago, yeah.
knowing.
Well, at least I didn't think it came out of anywhere, because I remember being like, oh yeah, that's the kid, and you can talk to him after or whatever, and he'll be like, yeah, the fucking player character name was a big tit when you think about it.
I didn't know that Bowie was what happens when you put a soul into something that doesn't have the will to live. I never would have found that out in my fucking life, I think.
You have to see that log to get to the true ending.
Yeah, but I don't think I figured it was
Put it
Flowey or
together.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think they said the actual last name of the flower. I'm like, what the hell is that? And that I didn't even know that Metaton was a soul put inside of a robot, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
I think like if this is stuff you discovered last week, I think this is just more just you not remembering the game.
No, I did not know that. I would have known because I actually really like Metaton.
Okay.
Like the Azrael stuff, like maybe I just didn't make the connection or forgot because I was definitely like, what the hell is this? Like still, even now in my head, the game ends with Asgore.
Yeah, man, the fingers in his ass.
Like it's funny because I love the amalgam part. I love the amalgams, but I just always forget that that part exists. Like, I was listening to the Undertale orchestra, and then we got to Asgore song, which, by the way, is ruined for me forever, which is so unfortunate.
It's ruined for everyone who's heard that forever, I think.
And then I was, I, like, saw that there were, like, 20 more tracks. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, oh yeah, the amalgams and stuff, and the whole rest of the game. I remember that. And then, like, you know, the 10 songs in a row that are just the, like, leitmotif of the game or whatever. I'm like, okay, I get it. If I had an emotional attachment to Undertale, I'd probably be pogging off right now, but...
I guess that brings the question of why were you doing this, by the way?
Well, listening to the music?
Yeah.
Because I downloaded it because I played Undertale, and then I was like, I have a highlights playlist that I just put all the, like, music that I won't skip in, and it's just a big amalgam of all the music that I like, so that I don't have to, just, you know, every song ever. And then I was like, well, I have the Undertale 5th anniversary orchestra in here, along with, you know, all the other music I downloaded. Let's actually, like, chunk through these and mark the highlights and stuff. That's basically why. And the orchestra is cool. I recommend it. I didn't listen to it at the time because I just didn't really care. And like everyone was so hyped about it, and I'm like, I don't share these feelings about Undertale, so I'll just feel bad that I don't share these feelings about Undertale, so I'll just go do something else.
That's a horrible way to view things.
Well, that's kind of how the Miku concert last night was, because I don't actually listen to Miku, but a friend had a set in it. And you know, I'm like, well, I wanna go support him, and then, you know, chat was popping off about all this shit that I didn't know about, and I'm like, and that's like, maybe I should do the highlights thing, but with Vocaloid music, but because literally anyone can make Vocaloid songs, and there are 5 billion of them, and everyone has different tastes, I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I want to ask friends to do it, because that seems like a lot.
I mean, the easiest way to start is like pick a track list from a Project Eva game.
I guess. all I know is some Ren and Lin songs from when I was a teenager, and I've just held on to since, and then that's kind of about it. Sadistic Music Factory, and that's probably about it.
A lot of you people with like a rapid fire gun to get up that fucking tower. There we go.
Yeah, it's like motifs and songs are good. There's another thing I was listening to that was like a real aggressor of that. Oh no, actually I think it was just Undertale, but then other songs too. Like Mad Dummies in like 5 songs. And like for some of them I'm like, oh, they're all ghosts or whatever. It makes sense. That's kind of neat. But then others I'm like, are these? I don't know how these are related. Damn it. Yeah, I haven't played Deltarune. Yeah, and the spider, which I must have forgotten completely that Buffett, or however you pronounce it, was a fucking Kickstarter character, because she's actually a part of the main story. Like, can you?
That would explain a lot, because like her sequence just feels like a non sequitur.
Yeah, I'm like, is it? And then I'm like, is it even required for the story? I don't even know.
Yeah, you do get right through it. You can't go around it.
I'm like, the fact that I did manage to do it must mean that it was, right? Look, no one likes So Sorry.
I still don't really know who that is. I just know everyone talks about it like being terrible.
It's like a secret boss. Well, actually, it was recently, right? Like, I think there's a sign that says come back on like October 14th or something, and then like a door opens and you get to fight So Sorry, and it's like a Tumblr OC.
Okay.
I think it's something like that. And then, you know, there's so many secret bosses in Undertale too, and then, oh, this one's exclusive to the Switch. You can only fight Mad Dummy as Mad Mew Mew in the Switch version or something. I'm like, or maybe it's just console versions, but I don't remember entirely.
I do remember something about the Switch having one specifically, unless they added it into the other console versions later.
Maybe it's like Mad Mew Mew is the Switch, but it's the same room with a different boss on Xbox or something.
Maybe.
Like, there's just like all this shit. You're never gonna find it. You're never gonna fucking find it. I guess it's like a community effort thing, but like, if you aren't a part of the damn community, then fuck you.
At the same time, I don't see that as a problem per se.
I'm just saying, Undertale, the game itself is good, but I feel like some people might try to make a project like that, and then the base game that the normies will be able to experience won't be good, and then it'll just fall flat because it leaned too hard into secrets.
Again, I don't think Undertale is like majority secrets. That's what helps it. Making something that's majority secrets will be the problem.
I think it's not unreasonable to assume, whoops. Oh my god, did you see that?
Yeah, it just like came to a stop for like 2-3 frames.
Why does it aim for the head of the Celio and not the back? Weird little Toby Fox altars.
Dog altars, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dog altars. Yeah. I haven't played Deltarune, but I'm just gonna put down the stamp here and say like the secret god that links these two or whatever the fuck it is gonna just be the dog. Get around to that at some point.
So there are really funny stuff like in the soundtrack there being a song that's like the song that you might play when you fight Sans. I'm like, what's this about? Because I already know Megalovania is the song for when you fight Sans, and then Toby just put that in the soundtrack to throw people off.
That's funny. I appreciate that.
I'm like, thank God I had the internet for that one though. Another taxi. Come on down.
Throwing bombs like in the water. Well, it's not actually in the water, it's off the cliff, whatever.
This crew knows how to work.
Yeah, right there.
Getting up a fish stick tower and then trying to do squid surge, a mechanic that doesn't work, you know how it is. That whiffed. Hate to see it. Yeah, I think there's I don't know. ARGs and secrets and stuff are weird. I feel like there's a balance where it's like you have to make it kind of known that there's an ARG being involved here, and then everyone kind of like figures it out, and then even if you don't know, then you see what other people figured out and go, oh wow, that's pretty clever.
At the same time, I don't think that needs to be like you don't need to know that for some things. It's fun to know. I don't think you need to know that to complete it, or you shouldn't need to know it to complete an experience.
Well, some things are designed, I think, with that in mind. Like my one friend made Badwater Videos 2009, which is like a Gmod video, like ARG kind of series where it's like there are events that are going on in the story, but then the reality of the situation is that like the creator is an actual character, and like the dolls, the rag dolls that are being used for the animations and stuff are alive, and they kind of like have little things in the videos that kind of show you that and stuff. Like things like that, I think are still cool, but you kind of have to know that something's going on, which I think that those do well, But it's really an example of just how there are things that are basically just a mystery like that. Oh, boo. Ah, no ink. Although speaking of Tumblr games, Gavin, are you gonna move to Tumblr?
I mean, it depends. Like, if like for a general like social media thing, it's basically just like if Twitter becomes unusable or dies or whatever.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, Twitter's so bad. Like Elon Musk bought it, it's so bad. I just kind of figured it was a thing where people are like being melodramatic just because they don't like Elon Musk, and like he's not actually doing anything harmless. And then I saw,
No, he very much is.
I saw an interview where it's like, yeah, like you have to pay $8 for like Twitter Blue or whatever, and then if you don't, then your tweets will be at the like complete bottom of people's timelines, even if they follow you. And I'm like, this sounds like pointless.
The thing is,
now
that only makes sense if you have anyone who's like check mark that would take priority. Is the other thing, which just kind of leads into the eternal thing of Elon Musk, where he literally doesn't know anything he's talking about because he's just, you know, daddy's little rich boy and not anyone who's ever done any work in his life.
Yeah, there was like all this
print
stuff
out your code, which was A, already just like that's the stupidest fucking thing you could possibly do, and then B, I'm going to fire everyone who doesn't write lots of code. It's like that's even stupider.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that.
No, like everything he's done from like day one has been this like gallingly stupid. In really obvious ways, you don't even need to be like an expert of this shit to contradict. If you've done programming for like a few months, even not even, maybe you quickly learn or pick up that, you know, the best coders like do it in fewer lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's of course the freedom of speech thing, and then everyone makes fun of him and he just bans them.
Yeah,
it's like that's obvious, but then yeah, I'm like, I don't know how much of him is actually harmful, because
loads of it, but like
he's always viewed as stupid, not evil, you know.
no,
But
he very much is evil, like extremely.
Like, I don't really know anything about him other than the fact that I wish someone else was doing self-driving cars so that people might have some excitement and hope for the concept like I do. But
I mean, he does it explicitly just to get contracting money and also to like lock down and lock out like improvements to public transport and infrastructure. Like all this stuff, like self-driving cars and hyperloops and all that, is literally to shut down these concepts and also suck up the money that would go for them.
I think people on Twitter need to highlight things like that more than like he's talking about anime girls and,
Yeah,
you know, things like that, because
I mean,
that's
there's also, you know, the constant like racist dog whistling and all the rest of it.
yeah, see, that
and
stuff
like
doesn't really reach me. So
oh no, he's very much of that breed. Of
and then
that,
like
sort of deranged American right winger. He's like, you know, the Jews are right to get me and stuff like that. Which is why he's fronting the free speech shit, because that's the audience, that's his audience, the one he's cultivated forever. Also a massive pusher of cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and all the rest of it. And it basically is, you just run down this list of sins, like, yeah, he's done each one.
yeah.
Has explicitly gone on record as saying he wants to dead name trans people. He wants like official names like put into everything just so he can dead name trans people, because he has on bad relations with his trans daughter, and his most recent ex, I should say, left him to be with a trans woman. So you know,
is that Grimes or whatever?
yes.
Yeah, see, I didn't know about any of this.
Like the focus is right now is like all of this stupid business stuff, but no, he is very much just fucking evil.
This is before all the censoring stuff.
Yes. A lot of the censoring stuff is basically just petty egotism and shit, but no, like his list of actual sins is grand, wide, and as prolific as basically any billionaires. A lot of this, because when you realize like he's fucking like 51 or whatever, it's the same thing of a lot of stuff like Bezos and the rest of it. It's just like the middle age crisis. You know, it's the midlife crisis shit that they're all having when they realize that despite of all their money, no one likes them, and their names will go down in history as, you know, covered in filth and scum. Oh, that's who it was with. Okay.
Yeah, like I do not give a
very
shit
much
about
like,
celebrities.
yeah, rightfully so. Let's be real. I mean, here we have like 2 hours to kill. I have an engineering disasters podcast I listened to that Evan recommended me, and they have like an episode or two on the shit he's like proposed as projects to basically explain in detail why it's fucking stupid and bad and all the stupid shit that comes out of it.
Maybe he should get together with Nintendo.
What was it? Yes, Tumblr. I was considering one anyway before this started because I'm just kind of like, do I just want to keep like writing longer form thoughts about this that aren't like big enough for essay length, fall into like fucking tweets from my media threads, or what is link it to a post on another site?
It's a 10 tweets, and like, yeah, I was also considering Tumblr because like, all my friends are there anyway, and the tagging system is just so good. Like, I always miss that. You can always go back
pretty good, yeah.
Find your old stuff because you just put every tag under the sun there, and it's not like a hashtag that literally intrudes on the tweet and how much you can write. And you know, like if I'm talking about, you know, Salmon Run, then I don't have to go from Christmas 95 Salmon Run and then hope that the thing I'm looking for, like I mentioned Salmon Run specifically,
yeah,
which odds are I didn't, so then that tweet is like lost forever. Whereas on Tumblr, I could just put Salmon Run and tag and like go and find it.
And a recent one that's similar-ish to like Tumblr in style called Co-host that some people on my timeline are trying to jump to or back stuff up onto. That might be in for consideration, but it'll most likely be Tumblr.
Yeah. Also, it's like it's so good for finding art of stuff too, because some people just draw the best art of all time, and then like they only write like the caption, the tweet as skirt in Japanese, and it's like you're never, if you're looking for art of that character, you're never gonna find that shit. Like, yeah. Your best bet is like you go on Dan Buru, search the character, happen to find that art. It links to their Pixiv, so then you go onto their Pixiv and then hope that they have they link their Twitter. If they didn't, you have to search it. Maybe they don't even have a Twitter, you know, that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah. And then you have to go through all of their media, and Twitter is really bad about loading media, and also it's everything they ever posted. So if they posted reaction images or something, then like you have to scroll through that, and then it stops after a point. Tumblr, this is not a problem.
Like I've only ever used Tumblr when like being linked to posts and like occasionally scrolling like the pages of artists I've like found that are on Tumblr. So that'll be like a new learning curve sort of thing, I think.
Yeah,
it seems like everyone's pages are like HTML.
Yes, they are. And you can make custom pages too using coding and stuff. I was like, I don't really want to do it because it'll be like a lot of work and I don't know if I want to do it, and then I just ended up doing it anyway. And I like spent 30 minutes trying to find a good theme that I liked, and I just fucking couldn't. But yeah, that's kind of the least of the concerns, I guess, is how easy my page is to navigate. Yeah. Because there are hacks like, I want page numbers on the thing, but you can just type, you know, Tumblr or christmas95.tumblr.com/page/50 and then get to the 50th page on that or whatever. But it's more annoying. Or like, you know, christmas95.tumblr.com/search/ and then whatever you want to search. Yeah. I hate my life. Oh my god.
Yeah, right up there.
I'm just gonna come back down. I'm just gonna come down. You know, if we lose, that is why. Didn't kill a fish stick before it flopped right down. Well,
should be good.
Yeah, I'm like, I kind of miss Tumblr, but I kind of just have been on Twitter, and then it would just be like, now I'm pointlessly wasting time refreshing 2 websites instead of 1, which was kind of why I left Tumblr in the first place, I think. But if everyone's just going to be on Tumblr anyway, that works for me. It's a better format. And then they were like, we're going to ban porn. I'm like, yeah, I'll just stay on Twitter. Not like I really look for that stuff, but...
The neither like slowly walking it back.
I think it's walked back already.
They walked back nudity. I don't think they walked back like the act of sex. If I remember right. Could be wrong on that.
Well, you know, the anime artists are more about just nudity anyway.
Yeah, I suppose.
If you want sex, you know where to find it.
Pixel.
Pixel, Dan Buru, whatever, you know.
The only thing I'll miss from Twitter is that if you ever compliment their art, they'll post like the most ridiculously horny things, and if you compliment it, they will very politely and kindly respond to you with a translated English thanking you for it. And then go back to posting like, you know, their various lovely breakfasts and dinners and remember some nice screenshots.
Yeah, well, let's be realistic here. I just hear a Greg on your game and not mine.
That's not a Greg, actually, that's fireworks.
Oh, okay. That's pretty funny. Oh, this gives me a better position to be in.
Why do they keep moving?
Oh, I guess I might as well just set the Tumblr up. Because, like, then there are a bunch of people that I followed, like, literally a decade ago who I have no idea who they are anymore. New friends that I have, I gotta figure out where all their shit is. Get all that sorted. Refigure out how it works, what changed on Tumblr. Stuff like that. Also, the nice thing about tags is that you can be a nobody like me and then make a meme about like Yokai Watch and then put the Yokai Watch tag in there. And then people just searching the Yokai Watch tag will find it and retweet it 7 years later. Even when you haven't touched the website in 7 years. That fucking... I made a clip of like Game Grumps and like Janine Garofalo's adventure or whatever. And literally 5 days ago, someone reblogged it. Like, what the fuck? Like, I remember that was popping off when I posted it, and like it's still kind of popping off now, a decade later. Jesus Christ. You can see the mouse in the fucking video too. It's insane.
Bless.
It's like, you know, it actually reaches people, you know?
Yeah.
Which is so nice. It's so nice. It's good for finding stuff. It's good for people finding stuff. It's perfect easy that you just have people writing side comments and tags, which is a habit that I do in YouTube videos that I got from Tumblr. All I have to do is stand here and do damage. It's so easy. Uh-oh.
Oh, I came from a different direction. I didn't see who was chasing.
Whoa, mamma mia.
Before it gets me again.
See, we're all good. We're all good.
Like the shield the bastards.
So this is gonna have to be the last one.
Okay. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
There was, but I only have like 5 minutes, so.
What was it?
Several things. We'll just save them for next time. One of them is job related. It might have a part 2 in an hour. Anyway, okay. So. But yeah, I mean, I guess one thing I spent yesterday doing was doing research on the new these new characters in Apex because I want to kind of play Apex again and be on top of that. All right, they fixed that. Shit. One day I'll actually tell my friends that I want to play it, but what is happening? I'm just gonna go over here.
I'm getting sniped off of walls I'm trying to climb because they both love me. Again.
It's been Grankle. Oh wait, that's Grackle. It's been Grackle.
Jesus,
Drizzler? Okay.
Like 2 snipers, 3 fucking dolphins, and I just can't fucking move anywhere. Not us then.
Yes, 2 eggs. I guess I wasn't putting any of the eggs in on growers. I was killing them, but whatever.
Yeah.
I love killing bosses. That's the game. So I really have to go to the bathroom. The moment I'm done this, I am hitting end stream and end Discord call.